What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. Today we are not alone, guys. I've realized I haven't made a collab on the channel since 2020, and today I decided to bring Van Horn Gaming on the channel, guys, to talk about mistakes you want to avoid in Dragonheir Silent Gods, especially when you are at the beginning of a season. Now, it doesn't matter which season, it's just the way you are prioritizing all of your goals in the game, how you're managing your resources, and Van Horn Gaming, what's up, bro? Nice to have you on the channel. Make sure you guys head over and check him out. The link to his channel will be in the pinned comment. What's up? What's up?
All good, brother. All good. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's the first collab for me, so happy to start from you. You are also the reason why I started making content creation. So nice to be here.
That's glad to hear that. So he is my actual clanmate as well in game, guys. And yes, nice to finally have you on a collab, bro. Because I've been slacking a lot on collabs recently, So that's a good thing to start it, at least for the week, But guys, when you are starting the game, it can be pretty underwhelming, especially if you're not really familiar with the mechanics. And there are quite a few things that a lot of people will get wrong from the very beginning. Now, one of the things that I'm gonna let Van Horn to start about this topic is the tier lists and how people are looking at the champions, right? I feel like everybody's focusing on S tier when it's just such a bad thing to rate your champions like this, especially in this game, more than in any other one that I've played,
Yeah, by far, it's more punishing here than anything else. Like I played the other game that you cover as well, and there is much easier. You can take a good champion in isolation and bring it in a comp and get something out. Here, if you don't have the right cast to play that champion, you basically have nothing in it. I did the same mistake that we're talking about last season when I picked Voresh from my £1 box, and I had zero champions to build around them, and I basically end up not using him because even if he's an incredible epic and an incredible champion, I didn't have anything to play with him.
Yeah, I feel like so many people picked Voresh. I feel like somebody must have given them the wrong advice with that, because I can name hundreds of people that picked Voresh from that chest for whatever reason when Frorbart and Garius are there for the grabs. That's amazing champions. But you're spot on. Like in Dragonheir Silent Gods, not only that you have different elemental affinities, like you have the fire, the necrosis, the poison, lightning, frost, radiance. Then you have kind of like, I'm not even sure how to call them, sub-elements, I would say, in a way or another. More like damage architectures, where you have your tanks, you have your support champions, but then you have wild heroes, like we have a Rash right here. So wild heroes are dealing additional damage when that thing activates on their skill. Now, each one of them really complements each other. So we have different wild heroes that buff the heroes with wild and have a higher chance to proc it, or slowly they gain a different bonus when they have other wild heroes in the team. And this goes on for every elemental affinity. All of them, they have a different damage architecture that will benefit the champions to be played together with other champions from the same damage architecture. And I feel like most probably in the next season, we are getting 3 more of them. I think the main goal is to have one AoE, one single target. I feel like that's how it looks so far. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think also we're probably going to have a second. I think they're called School of Damage.
School of Damage.
For necrosis for sure, because there we only have summoning, and summoning honestly is very difficult to play. I haven't been able to do anything with it so far. I have Sharlak and some epic, but I don't know. I just can't make it work. I go back usually to do damage with Questa or other champions on this one because they're just simpler to build, and you just build one champion for damage and it does it straight away. When you have to combine them and try to find the right synergy, sometimes it's very tough.
100%. Like she's an awesome champion, and summons indeed are much harder to play. So the main mistake you want to avoid here, guys, is don't prioritize a final rating on a champion and think about the synergy. So that is very important. You might look at a tier list. You see S tier champion, and then you're gonna take that champion without the right team, in the wrong content, and that champion will be bad, and you're going to be super disappointed that you invested in. And the main thing is you might not have the right champions to play that specific champion in a team. So that's why you kind of like need to try and understand the bigger picture when you are deciding on what champions you are planning to build. I feel like it's very, very important.
Yeah, 100%.
Moving over to the next mistake, guys, because we have quite a few. We have quite a few for you guys, and I feel like we've all done them. I feel like we've all done these mistakes. Don't forget your dailies. You have the Ace Challenge, you have the events, the Otherworld Exploration, which it opens in 2 days, and you have a lot of different tasks. Now, when you're starting the game, you're going to notice that you have these commissions. Are pretty straightforward, super easy to complete. And if you're skipping 1 or 2 days, it's absolutely fine. You can stack up to 6 of them, if I'm not mistaken. And I think afterwards they might stack on top of each other or something like that. So you're fine with this. But the main things that you kind of like need to prioritize is do your vortex. Always check what you have with the Alliance. You have an event in there because you have Alliance Wars. You have kind of like CVC sort of thing, which we have right now, which is the Alliance Duel, where you gotta go in and get your points. You gotta use the stamina in dungeons, in the do your vortex, and all this will reward you with points and overall bring your alliance to victory and get decent rewards from it as well. So focusing on the dailies is actually very important, not to miss the few dailies that we have in Dragonheir, right?
No, 100%. I did this mistake as well last season. I think a midway through the Otherworld Exploration, I forgot to use like 70 energy for the Otherworld Exploration, and I basically missed out one of the rewards that you can get from there for like a little bit of point, like 20, 50 points or something.
Oh, wow.
And I could have got basically 6,000 Eco of Glycidra that would have pushed me in the top 150, and instead I was sitting like a 6% with like 2,000 points from the top 150. I was like banging my head against the wall because I missed that day.
Yeah, it's
super
important.
So important. Yeah,
especially in the Otherworld event where you have 1,500 energy. I don't have that open at the moment because the event is not on. It will start in 2 days, so I can't really actually show you visually. But basically, you have extra energy in there that you can use, 1,500. And each one of the actions will take approximately 100 per action. You have the world bosses that you can attack. You have some dungeons that you can attack daily. And all of those will reward you with a different currency that will get you points on a not leaderboard, on a milestone board. And you're going to collect Echo of Clepsydra from there. Now, Echo of Clepsydra will determine your ranking on the seasonal leaderboard, which is the most important thing in Dragonheir. That's the whole seasonal experience, allowing you to put your hand on some very juicy rewards and the sand core that will allow you to purchase more juicy rewards from the seasonal shop, So very, very important to do that. And talking about alliances, because you are my alliance mate in here, give the next advice to the people about the alliances. What are we doing with inactive alliances?
Yeah, exactly. You just have to move up the rank. If you are in an inactive alliance, you have to look up the ranking, find one that have an open spot in the top 10, top 5, and move on, because there's no point for you to stay in some place that is not active. You're gonna get less resources throughout the entire season. So your psychic core is gonna be slowly. Everything is gonna be much difficult for you because you don't have that full stream of resources coming from the alliance. The events, the CVC, as you said, give you a lot of points there as well, a lot of resources, dices. And then when the Otherworld Exploration open, you're not going to have those bonuses. They are so important to be able to do a lot of damage on the bosses. So you're going to fall behind through the entire, basically, storyline on the 3 months.
Yep, 100%, bro. Especially in the Otherworld event, if your alliance is very inactive, you will not gain the bonuses. And that will literally cripple your entire damage against the bosses, and that will result in a bad placement on the seasonal leaderboard. So moving into an active alliance is key if you want to succeed in the game. The next thing, guys. Now, when we start playing, right, we have the opportunity, we have the option to level up our psychic core every new season. Now, let's just say you started once, you've done it wrong, you cannot reset this one, and I'll be honest, there isn't necessarily a wrong to it, but there is something that can give you the edge, okay? And you have 3 different elemental affinity combinations every season, right? You have the frost, the fire and necrosis here, then you have the lightning and poison, and you have the ice and radiance. Now, when you start playing, okay, you're gonna focus on a main team, and that might be whatever out of these elemental combinations. And the natural thing to do is to try and prioritize some of the high stats for those. Now, what I personally do, because I know we both have a couple of different things to say here. I tend to go like this. I'm maxing the first line, maxing these two here for everything. Then right here again, I am maxing all of this for all of my elemental affinities. The reason for it is because all of them will give me a massive, massive bonus. And you will need to use all of the elemental affinities because you have the Pillar of Trials and you want to try different combinations of champions, especially that you are slowly getting to the world bosses with the Lunar Radiance Halo event or whatever other event you might have in your own season. And then I am doing the accuracy on all of them. After I'm done with that, I'm skipping the resistance. Then I'm doing this, of course. And then from here on, you have the last two trees. I'm prioritizing my main team. So this season was Ice and Radiance. I maxed my Ice and Radiance. I maxed the damage. Then I maxed the damage reduction. And then I started focusing on my weaker elemental affinity. So I checked what champions I have, which one is the weakest team that I can build. And then I started giving them the additional stats just to enhance my damage for the world bosses, basically. That's how I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty similar, to be honest, except for the last ring, I guess. I'm doing exactly the same, building just the accuracy, not the resistance. The resistance, I see you built the lightning and poison because you need it on that boss.
Yeah.
You just need it for the war bosses. But yeah, I do basically exactly the same until not the last ring, but basically I build all three affinity to max before starting to the last one.
Gotcha.
And the reason for that is, I guess we have a different perspective. You have the opportunity by having some of the best support champion to push for the ranking for the Vortex. And that is why you maximize in one affinity. I've never been in that situation because I am always ranking between 100 and 300, generally 150. And so even with one affinity maxed out, I will not be able to compete the top 100. So it doesn't really make a massive difference for my account
100%
in terms of resources I'm getting. So I'm going to maximize the second ring, second to last, because I get all my team to perform better on the war bosses.
Yeah.
And so I can push a little bit more on that ranking, leaving the Vortex alone. And when I'm done with that, I do exactly like you. I go to my Dauntless team. I'm using a Dauntless, Lightning and Poison. I max that out to max. And then I'm going to the weakest one and trying to push up the damage and the survivability on that team.
Yeah, that definitely a good point with the ranking for the Vortex. You see, I managed to rank in between 40 to something initially at the beginning of the season till all the Krakens got their Mega Beldeles out to play.
Yeah.
I was doing like top 20, but then I dropped drastically, like top 50, top 60. So now as well, I'm not really competing for this that much because I'm not able to keep up the step with all of the exclusives. And I think it's a very good point that you brought up to focus on the 10% damage on all of them, so you increase the damage in the world bosses. I feel like it's definitely a very, very good point in here.
Yeah, it's just a different perspective, I guess. If I had a Nogok or a Zephy and I could push my team up to a crazy amount of damage, probably would have done the same as you. It's just you need to understand your account, where you can push. Can you rank? Or maybe you are in less competitive server, you can rank very high, then go for it. Just go for one and then build the others.
No, because we didn't have this on the list, but now that we're here, I do want to talk a bit about identity and attributes. So the characters, guys, when you create them, are just purely cosmetic, okay? They're not really influencing anything in the game whatsoever. And you do have a few different identities that you can pick when you start playing. And I went with archaeologists. So the main thing that you want to get out of here, and this is for everybody, it will take you back to attributes. You want to have high intellect, high dexterity, high wisdom. That's where your points should go. Now, if you have intellect, basically when you're creating food, that will give you extra, and dexterity, if I recall it right, when you steal stuff, you can escape easier. So basically you can lie to them and be like, no, was not me. And then they will believe you. You have a higher chance to convince them, And wisdom, I'll be honest, I kind of forgot what it does. I think it's discovering things on the map while you're going from place to place, right? Because you have the dice rolling. I
Yeah,
think
there are
that's what it does.
some interaction with NPC
Yeah.
where you have advantage like +3 or +2 depending on your points, and usually there are intellect, dexterity, and wisdom. So those
Correct.
3 are the one you should focus first for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And intellect is probably the most important just because of the food. You're gonna end up in doing a lot of food. Now, right now, I'm almost at a point myself where I don't really need to use that much. But last season,
Yeah.
I was burning down. Like I just couldn't keep up the step with making enough food that I was using in the Feymender or in the Pillar of Trials. You know, it was just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, there especially, it's when you need to push that extra resistance to get through the wave. Sometimes you need that. So yeah, it's definitely something that everybody should work on, and definitely define those 3 points is important.
100%. And the next thing will be the way we are managing our stamina, aka energy. Now, this game limits the stamina that we all have, okay? So nobody can come and point the finger at Skratch and be like, Skratch, you filthy, degenerate Kraken, what you are. You have the most insane gear in the game because you've been playing for so long and you've been farming for so long. Thankfully, nobody can do that to me here. But the whole idea is that if we are managing our stamina right, guys, we should all pretty much be at a very, very equal place with the gear, you know? And I feel like it does depend what champions you have, how fast you are able to push on higher stages. So it's not something that will make it or break it, you know, because I might gain a 1 week advantage, you know, or maybe a few days advantage, but it's not something that will all of a sudden put me at God tier compared to the rest. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. By the way, look at that epic negative rune on Sheena. She's a bit crying for that, I guess.
I know she's, yeah, because I just don't have I don't have better ones, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I've been farming quite a bit. I need to see if I got an upgrade on her, but I doubt it. You know, like I'm so unlucky with the gear drops. It's just crazy, actually.
Yeah. But that's a common. I remember you complaining last season too. So, but nevertheless, to get back to the energy, yeah, 100%. And also, we should remember that we don't need to get all off with the energy all the time. Like something I've been doing that is giving me good results, at least, is to try to use the energy smartly when there are events in game, and try to not to go all out on the how they call the hard training event. You could try compete on one, and maybe you get a good ranking on it, and then the next one you completely out of energy. Maybe in a good event come up where you can do, you can get extra bread and stuff, and you don't have anything to run it. But they're quite easy. Usually those moonlight events or like 28 run, I think, something like that, to max it out. So
they're pretty spot on, and they do reward you quite a bit. So basically, you're using the stamina, but you're getting it back, and you're getting extra rewards on top of it. So making sure you're completing every single one of these events, guys, and you're managing your stamina right is key as well, because if you don't have enough stamina to run this, even though I would say that even if you have no stamina saved, you're still going to complete these events because they are on for like 3-4 days. So I think the only way you're not going to complete them is if you intentionally try to don't complete them, basically.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not gonna have them like extremely hard from the very beginning. They gradually kind of like evolve as well with your progression, you know. So eventually it will be the same for everyone. But the main thing as well is you don't want to jump on and do a lot of dungeons in the first 1 month. Okay, in the first 1 month, the main thing that you should kind of like prioritize is create your team for the goblin. That's how you should end up. You know, like having in the first 6 days, once the reset is over, you keep the goblin team, and then slowly you're farming from there. You're able to level up more champions, and at the same time you are able to go and farm at least one of the opposite domains to build up another team, you know. And slowly you're just farming goblin, you're farming the domains, because you will reach a point where I think at level 90 you have a few days of kind of like not much to do, maybe almost a week, where you're kind of like waiting to move to the next level. And that's when you're farming the goblin. And then the way I'm doing it, at least, I'm going to the dungeons, I'm getting a set of all of them, even though if they're not perfect, trash sets, just to be able to get that 3 bonus set, basically, you know. And then I'm waiting for the double drops, which only enable, I feel like, after like 28 to 30 days in the season. That's when you completely ignore the goblin for, I would say, 3 weeks, and then you just go in the events, you do all the dungeons, you get the gear that you need. It's not going to be perfect. I don't have perfect gear, but you will get another currency which will enable you to go right here at the forge, and you go at equipment refinement, and you're getting these philosopher stones that will allow you to transform rare gear into epic, epic gear into legendary, and that's how you are getting the best pieces of gear on your account. You're not getting them by just farming them. The best pieces of gear will appear from philosopher stones. That's the secret, guys, okay? That's how you get god tier gear.
Yeah, 100%. I know a lot of people that bulk sell all the epic gear, and then they're like, oh, I don't have attack chest for that specific set. Well, you should have, because you can snipe them, right? So when you upgrade them, you can choose what set you want to get in the end. So that's what you should do, definitely, 100%.
And that's one thing. The problem is, I mean, not a problem. The good thing is that Dragonheir has 3-piece sets. So the fourth one can be broken from anything. You see, I have these crit damage gloves right here. Crit rate and attack. It's so hard to get this on a perfect legendary piece, you know? So the best way is for me to come right here and forge this from this set. Because the hardest pieces of gear that you will find out that you don't really get are these pieces, and those are the damage pieces, you know. And I feel like I kind of lost myself there for a second. I was like, well, what am I saying? Well, what are you saying, Skratch, you know? But the main thing is you have multiple dungeons, and the damage gear is the hardest to get perfect. The rest doesn't need to have perfect stats, you know. You can work with the moonlight set, with a stun set, or whatever, but the Grave of Venom will be everybody's home, you know. You're gonna spend the most stamina in here, you know.
Yeah. Also, to add what you said in the beginning, that first phase of the game where you have to build those champions to do pretty much everything. I have a video out where I've done the entire game until Goblin 3 with 6 epic champions. So it's doable. You don't need crazy comp. I don't even have any legendary artifact, and you can still go through the game. So you can do it. You just need to work on the right set of champion.
100%. If you're picking the right things in the team, you're gonna be sorted, you know, and it allows you to have a lot of flexibility. The next thing I'm gonna let you talk about that, and that is the arena.
Oh yeah, overlooking arena. That's something that a lot of people do. Arena is a big time sink, but it is really useful. It gets you a lot of stream of resources, and if you play it consistently, you can get resources week after week, and it makes your life easier. You can level your psychic core faster. When your psychic core is stronger, your champions are stronger. You can do more damage everywhere in the game. So you can drop by using one-man defense, and Skratch is doing, and get easy fight, rank back, and towards the end of the week before the reset, set your full defense and rank as high as possible.
And good that you reminded me, because that's actually exactly what I need to do today, because I need to finish in Silver 3, so I need to put my defense back on track here. But yeah, Arena, guys, will give you a lot of rewards. Now I know it's pretty hard, especially if you don't have necessarily the key champions to enable you to do Arena to a crazy high level, but it will allow you to get the job done, you know. And you can purchase different goodies and the essence of creation. We're gonna go to the shop in just a second. I'm quickly just going to set my very free to pay defense in here, you know.
100% free to play.
Yeah, I got lucky. I got a Vitar. What can I say? But I'm pushing like crazy. Okay, I'm already at 42,000 gladiator seals, and that's because I want to get artifact. You know.
I'm working on that too.
I've been slacking last season, and for the last few days, this week I haven't done much. But last week, for example, I earned around 10,000 seals. You know, that's the ranking, of course, and doing 30 plus fights every single day. Now, if you go at the shop, guys, I'm not personally. I'm working to get the legendary artifact. Okay, the lucky playing cards. So I haven't purchased anything the entire season with this currency. But then you have the 3-man arena, which gives you the different one, the team competition seal. Now with that, I'm purchasing a master scroll once I'm getting it in the right tier, and I'm purchasing a Helia Light dice as well, so that's actually very helpful. Now, once I'll be done with getting the lucky playing cards, a lot of you guys might not be able to reach this 50,000 amount in one season, so you might not stress about it too much, at least for the very first few seasons. You can purchase different goodies, like you have the epic scrolls, which are so important. You have the essence of creation, like look how much you can purchase. Now, I'm not telling you to go and jump on all of it that's at 2,000, but try to get at least the discounted one, and Starlight Stone Dice can be nice too, but I wouldn't necessarily make those my priority from Arena,
Yeah. Especially from season 2, you don't need that much, because you might have to snipe only a couple of epics, and it's better to try to get them through the Aether Light dice. But yeah, there's also live arena that pretty much nobody plays. And if I'm not wrong, it gives you the same resources. I see. You can see that you're not playing it too, like me. And it gives you the same resources of the normal arena. So if you push for that one, nobody play it, and so you can rank quite easily, and you can get a bit of resources over there too.
Yeah, like I feel like you have a chance to get a legendary scroll or even an epic scroll, So I just don't do it because the timing when it opens is just never suiting me, So
same. It's a shame because you get the silver whatever material to buy the artifact from there too, so it will be useful. But I never around when it's open, so
it's the same for me. Literally the same for me. Then we do have a couple of different things, guys, as well, which will be a bit more general. I do want to talk about the artifacts first and the way you're using your essence of creation. So having the right artifact, leveling up the right artifact, it can be pretty overwhelming because there are quite a few of them. And again, it becomes very important to level up the right artifact for the right damage architecture or school of damage, because there are different artifacts that will enhance champions that deal derivative damage, like the Violink. Or you have the Dancing Hero, champions that require a lot of attack speed, which are usually the Dauntless heroes. And I'm not saying that you cannot mix and match every now and then. A couple of these artifacts could work on different heroes. But picking the right ones is key, and it's very expensive to level them up. Like getting them to level 20 is very, very costly, and you cannot reset them. So you definitely want to make sure you do a bit of research into this before you are jumping ship to level up the wrong artifact,
Yeah, especially you have a lot of legendary one that they take so much a sense of creation to
like,
be leveled.
Just level 19 to 20 costs me 2,200.
So much. Yeah, I think an epic one from 0 to top is about 900 or 9,000, 8,000 something.
Yeah, that's how much is an epic. Yeah, around a bit under 10,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So and you don't have a lot of materials. So if you invest on a rare, for example, which are the first one that you get, yes, if you don't have anything else, they help you go through the game. But then as soon as you start getting the epic one, you don't have resources to level them, so you're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So I always say level just the minimum for you to go through the content you're playing, and always try to aim for the next one, because as soon as you start getting the epic one, they really are game changing.
100%, man. Like it's so important to be spot on with the resources, especially the ones that are limited, you know. And moving over to the next few topics is kind of like a bit of a general thing, and the way people are trying to play the game, you know, and it's just trying to understand what you're doing. Don't get frustrated that you cannot beat one thing, and just stay focused on that one thing. You can always look to do something else, and then slowly you're gonna find a solution to the issue that you had before, right? Like there are quite a few
I think a lot of people drop off for that kind of frustration when they get stuck to one of those gate of wave that they can't beat. But the game is quite vast, so if you can't progress in that area, just remember it's a game, and you can get somewhere else, or you can take a break and get back to that content in a couple of days, and you're gonna look easy. So too many people drop off when they get stuck on a gate. And they also, I will tie to this one the next suggestions, where they try to do too many things at the same time. You sometimes you just need to focus on one content and get your comp right, make it work. push it to the level that you can beat at that point and then move to the next one. Because if you're trying to build a team for I don't know, Ancient Battlefield and Heretical Ruins at the same time, you kind of spreading yourself too thin. You're getting nowhere, and you're getting frustrated because on any of the two, you get into level 9, for example. So focus on one, get it done, and if you can't get it done, move to something else.
100%. And just to kind of like reiterate on your first point, a lot of people, they tend to give up. I cannot beat this wave. It's fine. You know what? Go for the next 2 days. Level up your champions a bit more, get better gear, and get back to that part. It's not something that will block you. Like, this is not a game that will block you and will ask you to spend money to beat that content. No. This game will require you to put a bit of an extra grind into something if you are getting stuck. Let's just say you're trying to do the campaign, or you're trying to complete some of the quests that require you to kill different waves, because there are a few waves that are pretty challenging, right? And they are challenging if you are under leveled, okay? As long as you are slowly pushing your heroes to a higher level, you're slowly getting better artifacts. It might take you a day, it might take you 2 or 3, but you'll be ready to go back, challenge that content again, and defeat it, and move over to whatever else it was gating you in the game. You know, like, I find that as the best solution. Same with the Feymander, the Pillar of Trials. I never jump on them to do it in the first few days, weeks, because I know they're pretty challenging, time consuming. So instead, I'm focusing on doing dungeons and other things. And now, for example, because I still haven't finished them all, you know, like, now I'm slowly just pushing the Fey. I have 28 more levels, you know, and it feels more like a walk in the park compared to how it was 1 month ago. And that's because I haven't stressed it to do it when I was under leveled, you know.
Yeah. 100%. The game it's gated, and then when the gate open, we are all at the same level right now, right? So when you finish the storyline, there's only a certain level you can be, and we're all at the same level. So you're not losing anything.
100%, yeah. But guys, that should do for our video today. Hopefully you found it helpful. You learned something new from me and Van Horn in here. Which, make sure you guys head over to his channel, drop him a subscribe, check out his content. Awesome stuff.
Thank you, brother. It's been nice to be here. Thank you for the opportunity, and it's been a pleasure.
100%. Much love to all of you guys, and we will have a different video on his channel as well, guys. Make sure you are tuning in to check that out, because we are going to talk about the other world event, world bosses, and other topics that might help you a bit more in Dragonheir Silent Gods. Till then, appreciate every single one of you guys watching. Much love, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.